With the European markets this morning, despite the Brexit chaos, the FTSE pointing slightly higher, as is the CAC, and the DAX just slightly lower in Germany. Well, more setbacks. How often have we said that for British Prime Minister Theresa May in this ongoing saga of the UK's exit from the European Union?
Mr. Speaker, I continue to believe that the right path forward is for the United Kingdom to leave the EU as soon as possible with a deal, now on the 22nd of May. But it is with great regret that I have had to conclude that, as things stand, there is still not sufficient support in the House to bring back the deal for a third meaningful vote.
Well, as you can see, Theresa May giving up on a deal for now, Parliament voting to take control of the exit by calling for indicative votes to see if there are any other options that lawmakers can agree on, including the possibility of preventing Brexit altogether. Joining me now is the Heritage Foundation's Vice President of National Security and Foreign Policy, James Carafano. Thank you, James, so much for joining us. Okay. It continues to go on and on. Now we have the MPs taking control of the agenda. They're going to have a series of indicative votes to see if they can agree on something, but it's not binding, and Theresa May doesn't have to act on whatever they come up with. So what's the point?
Well, it does kind of seem like the never-ending story, and every time we do these interviews, we're kind of right back where we started. I mean, this is a problem, is if there was a path forward other than the path of Brexit, you think the Parliament would have figured that out long ago. So I think, honestly, the most likely scenario today is a hard Brexit, an exit without a deal on April 12th. I think that's still valid. That's
interesting. And as for Theresa May, a lot of questions about her future, but is there much point her quitting now at this stage of the game? I'm not sure who else could come in and do anything. You say a hard Brexit becoming more likely. We hear all sorts of, horrible predictions of what happens if that, in fact, is the result. But will it be that bad for the UK?
I don't think so at all. I mean, we've been studying this issue for many years, and the reality is the EU is prepared for a hard Brexit. They've been planning on this for some time. The UK has been planning on this. To me, this is like Y2K. It'll happen. We'll wake up the next morning and just drive on.
But, James, MPs don't really want to leave the EU in the first place, and there's a sense that they're going to prevent the hard Brexit from ever happening. Can they do that?
Well, that's a really interesting question, because if you actually look at the members of Parliament and how they voted, how the British people voted, the Parliament is by and large pro staying in the EU. But the problem is there's not a path really forward for that. There's no coalition that really can support a legitimate legislative strategy that can actually stand. May, look, whether we like her or not, she's planning on staying, and it doesn't seem anybody can oust her. So she will probably likely see through this decision in April. But I think by the end of the year, I think most people think she'll have left.
And we'll still be talking about it. And James, I'm sure you'll be back, and we'll be talking about Brexit for some time to come. But James, thanks for joining us early this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.